Struggle keeps you trapped. Effort keeps you separate. This audiobook reveals the universal key, the secret that turns the formless into form. Once you claim it, you won't need to chase reality. Reality will flow to you. The Universal Key. Introduction. Beyond the veil of ordinary existence lies a truth so profound that those who uncover it walk between two realities, the one they have known and the one they were always meant to enter. You stand at this threshold now, not by chance, but by design. Every book, every teaching, every practice you have pursued has led you to this moment. But what if the answers you seek were never outside you? What if the key has always been within? The universe is not moved by empty affirmations or desperate yearning. It is governed by something far greater, a force that masters and mystics have long understood, yet few have wielded. This is not about manifesting fleeting desires or bending reality to your will. It is about unlocking the master key, the universal key, that turns the unseen into the seen, the formless into form. Your mind is the key, not the restless mind that doubts and fears, but the silent, knowing mind that exists beneath the noise. It is there, in the stillness, that you will find the doorway to creation itself. This force does not require belief, just as the sun does not need permission to shine. It has always been present, waiting for you to awaken to its presence. What follows in these pages is not a method but a revelation. You will not be given new knowledge. You will remember the truth that has always been yours. Strip away illusion, and what remains is power. Release limitation, and what emerges is infinite. This is the moment you reclaim the key, and once you do, reality will never be the same again. Part 1. The Awakening, Breaking Free from the Illusion. Chapter 1. The Cycle of Struggle and Why Nothing Works. In the heart of a bustling city lived Henry, a man whose shelves groaned under the weight of wisdom. Books on manifestation, spirituality, and the secrets of success lined his walls like silent witnesses to his relentless pursuit. Each morning he would rise before dawn, meticulously following every ritual and practice promised to unlock abundance. Vision boards adorned his walls, affirmations filled his journals, and his mind constantly churned with positive thoughts. Yet his reality remained unmoved, like a mountain refusing to bow to the wind. Year after year, Henry's determination hardened into desperation. His smile grew tight, his eyes lost their light, and beneath his carefully crafted positivity lay a well of bitterness that deepened with each passing day. "Perhaps," he would whisper in his darkest moments, "the universe has forgotten me." Here lies the great paradox that few understand. The very act of struggling to manifest creates the energy of struggle. When you approach the universe with desperation masked as dedication, you unknowingly declare your separation from what you seek. This declaration becomes your reality, not because the universe is cruel, but because it is precise in its reflection of your inner state. Think of a person searching frantically for their glasses while wearing them. Their desperate search creates the very blindness that prevents them from seeing what is already theirs. This is the hidden mechanism that keeps countless souls trapped in cycles of frustration. The more they strive, the more they strengthen the very separation they seek to overcome. One evening, as Henry sat in the park, exhausted from another day of forced positivity, an elderly woman settled beside him. Her presence carried a stillness that seemed to quiet the very air around them. Without looking at him, she spoke words that would shake the foundation of his understanding. You are drowning in the ocean because you do not realize you are the ocean. Henry began to speak of his efforts, his practices, his unwavering dedication, but she simply smiled. In that moment, something shifted within him, a recognition so profound it stole his breath. All these years he had been trying to convince the universe to grant his wishes, like a wave attempting to negotiate with the ocean about which way to flow. This truth stands before you now. The universe does not respond to effort or desperation. It responds to resonance. When you understand that you are not separate from the force you seek to influence, the very notion of manifestation transforms. You are not pushing against reality. You are reality expressing itself. Ancient practice of still waters. Find a quiet space and settle into silence. Close your eyes and feel your own energy. Notice how it moves, where it concentrates, what quality it carries. Is it reaching, grasping, striving, or does it rest in quiet certainty? Make no attempt to change what you observe. Simply witness. In this witnessing lies the seed of transformation. Chapter 2. The Hidden Power You Never Realized You Had. In a gleaming penthouse overlooking the city, Eleanor stood before her wall of achievements. Awards, certificates, and magazine features captured her rise from small-town dreamer to celebrated success story. Her social media sparkled with perfectly curated moments, romantic dinners, luxury vacations, designer wardrobes. Yet as she traced her fingers across each symbol of accomplishment, a familiar emptiness echoed within. Night after night, she found herself seeking more. Another relationship, another promotion, another accolade. Each new acquisition brought a fleeting joy that slipped through her fingers like water, leaving her thirsting for the next achievement. The truth you have forgotten lies at the heart of all creation. The external world is but a mirror of your inner reality. You have been taught to seek power in things, in people, in circumstances. Yet these are merely reflections of the force that has resided within you since your first breath. This power does not need to be earned or discovered. It cannot be given or taken away. It simply waits for your recognition. Like the sun behind clouds, ever present regardless of whether you perceive it. Your conditioning has led you to doubt this innate force, to seek its validation in the mirror world of form rather than in the depths of your own being. One night, Eleanor drifted into a dream unlike any other. A figure of light approached her, radiating a familiar warmth she had spent her life trying to find in others. "You have always held the key," the figure spoke, its voice resonating with the truth of ages, "but you never believed it could be yours." As these words washed over her, Eleanor felt an ancient knowing stir within, a certainty that transcended all her carefully constructed beliefs. When she opened her eyes, the world appeared unchanged, yet everything was different. The desperate search that had driven her entire life suddenly seemed like a cosmic joke. She had been seeking herself in every face, every achievement, every fleeting pleasure. This revelation awaits you now. You are not separate from the power you seek. The moment you cease looking outside yourself for what has always existed within, reality transforms to match this understanding. You are not a seeker on an endless quest. You are the source of all you desire. Sacred practice of inner recognition. Take your journal and write down what you yearn for most deeply. Let your heart speak freely of its desires. Now close your eyes and turn your attention inward. How does each desire already exist within you? If you seek love, where do you feel love's presence in your own heart? If you seek abundance, Where do you already experience richness in your being? Let this reflection reveal the truth. Everything you seek is a quality of your own consciousness waiting to be recognized. Chapter 3. The Laws You Were Never Taught. In the heart of a bustling city, Charles sat cross-legged on his meditation cushion, vision boards carefully arranged before him. His daily routine was meticulous: morning affirmations, visualization sessions, gratitude journaling. He had studied every manifestation technique, followed every spiritual teacher's guidance. Yet his desires remained tantalizingly out of reach, like mirages shimmering on the horizon. Beyond the surface teachings lies a truth few have glimpsed, ancient laws that govern the very fabric of existence. The law of attraction is but the first step on a deeper journey into reality's hidden mechanics. These sacred principles have been whispered through the ages, preserved by those who understood their transformative power. The law of resonance reveals that manifestation flows not from what you do, but from what you are. Your being must vibrate in perfect harmony with your desire. The law of certainty teaches that doubt is impossible when you truly understand these principles. Just as you never doubt the sun will rise, you never question the manifestation of your aligned desires. The law of surrender shows that control must be released for true power to emerge. Most seekers remain trapped in the cycle of asking and waiting, unaware that they are attempting to manipulate forces they do not yet understand. These laws operate with mathematical precision. They do not respond to pleading or effort, only to perfect alignment with their principles. One evening, as Charles left his meditation class, a woman stopped him. Her presence carried an unusual stillness, as though she existed in perfect harmony with the universe itself. "You're working so hard to manifest," she said, her eyes holding ancient wisdom. "But manifestation is not about asking. It is about becoming." In that moment, Charles felt something shift within him, a recognition that all his techniques had been keeping him separate from what he sought. The universe operates through exact principles, not wishes or hopes. When you understand these laws fully, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. You no longer chase desires. You embody the frequency of their fulfillment. Like the precise alignment of celestial bodies or the mathematical perfection of a snowflake's pattern, these cosmic laws respond only to perfect resonance with their nature. In this state of alignment, you become one with the very essence of creation itself, and what you seek naturally flows toward you, drawn by the magnetic force of your transformed being. Sacred practice of being. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and enter a state of deep relaxation. Now, instead of visualizing yourself wanting or pursuing your desire, experience yourself as already being one with it. Feel how your energy shifts when you release the chase and simply exist in perfect unity with what you seek. Let this state of being become your natural frequency. Chapter 4. Shifting from Desperation to Magnetism. In a small coastal town, Margaret spent her evenings writing letters to a love that never arrived. Each morning, she checked her phone obsessively, hoping for messages from those who had walked away. Her heart ached with an endless yearning, and her prayers echoed with desperate pleas for connection. Yet something shifted within her one autumn morning. As she watched the waves retreat from the shore, a truth crystallized in her consciousness. The ocean never chased the sand. In that moment, she made a choice that would alter the course of her destiny. She deleted the unsent messages, removed the dating apps, and turned her attention inward. You see, the universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are. When you beg for love, you broadcast the frequency of lack. When you chase approval, you emanate the energy of unworthiness. The law of attraction operates with perfect precision. It must return to you exactly what you put out into the world. Those who master manifestation understand this essential truth. Desperation creates resistance. The moment you need something desperately, you push it away with the force of your own longing. This is why those who seem to care the least often receive the most. They have mastered the art of certainty, the knowing that transcends need. As the seasons changed, Margaret noticed something extraordinary. The very people she had once pursued began appearing in her life, drawn by her newfound sovereignty. Yet now, standing in her power, she saw them differently. She had become complete within herself, and this completion acted as a magnetic force, attracting all that aligned with her transformed state. The secret, she later shared with a friend, wasn't in finding the right person. It was in becoming the right energy. She had learned to stand unwavering in her worth, like a lighthouse that neither chases ships nor begs them to see its light. When you release the grip of desperate wanting, you activate a power greater than desire itself. You align with the natural flow of the universe, which always moves toward expansion and fulfillment. Sacred release ritual. Take a piece of paper and write down what you have been desperately clinging to. Every hope, fear, and expectation that has wrapped itself around your heart. Light a white or purple candle, centering yourself in the sacred stillness of this moment. With clear intention, speak these words of power. I release my attachment to this outcome. I stand complete within myself. The universe knows the perfect path. Then mindfully burn the paper, watching as the flames transmute your written words into ash. Let these ashes symbolize the beautiful transformation of desperate energy into peaceful certainty, of attachment into divine trust. As the paper burns, feel the weight of wanting lift from your shoulders, replaced by an unwavering faith in the perfection of divine timing. Chapter 5. The Reality Loop. In the heart of a bustling city, James walked the same path he had traced 1,000 times before. Each morning, he would pass the same buildings, greet the same faces, and arrive at the same unfulfilling job. His attempts at change always seemed to collapse, as if an invisible force pulled him back to familiar disappointments. You hold within you a power far greater than conscious intention, the power of your subconscious mind. Like James, you may find yourself trapped in patterns that seem beyond your control. Yet these patterns are not imposed upon you. They are created by you moment by moment, through deeply held beliefs that operate beneath the surface of awareness. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you want and what you expect. It simply manifests the reality that aligns with your deepest convictions. When James examined his life closely, he discovered that his failures weren't random. They were precise reflections of his hidden beliefs about what he deserved and what was possible. Think of reality as a mirror that reflects not your wishes but your expectations. Every experience, every relationship, every circumstance emerges from this hidden template within you. The universe does not respond to your conscious desires. It responds to the silent script running in the depths of your being. One evening, as James sat in a small cafe contemplating another setback, a stranger at the next table turned to him and spoke words that would shake the foundations of his understanding. You are not repeating the past. You are creating it, again and again. In that moment, James saw with startling clarity how his life had been shaped not by external forces, but by the stories he told himself about who he was and what he could achieve. Your life follows the same principle. What appears as fate is actually a faithful reproduction of your subconscious expectations. Until you illuminate and transform these hidden beliefs, you will continue to create the same reality regardless of your conscious intentions. Subconscious revelation practice. In the quiet hours before sleep, take an unlined journal and a pen. Light a single candle, creating a sacred space for truth. Now, right at the top of the page, what do I truly believe about? Followed by the area of life you wish to transform. Let your hand move across the page without censorship or judgment, allowing the deeper wisdom within you to speak. Write until you feel complete. Then read what you have written, observing these words as if they belong to another. These are the hidden scripts that have been directing your life's play. With this awareness, you gain the power to rewrite them. Chapter 6. The Role of Energy. In a quiet garden, Abigail knelt before her altar, reciting the same affirmations she had spoken 1,000 times before. I am abundant, I am worthy, I am blessed. Yet with each word, she felt the hollow echo of emptiness. For years she had faithfully repeated these phrases, believing that through sheer repetition, they would reshape her reality. The ancient wisdom keepers understood a truth that modern seekers often overlook. The universe responds not to words, but to the energy they carry. Like music, it is not the notes written on the page that move the soul, but the resonance they create. Your words are merely vessels. Without the living water of genuine feeling to fill them, they remain empty containers, powerless to affect the fabric of reality. This is why two people can speak the same affirmation with vastly different results. One merely recites, the other embodies. The secret lies in the vibrational frequency you emit. Every emotion carries its own unique signature, and it is this signature that the universe recognizes and mirrors back to you. When you speak of abundance while feeling lack, you broadcast the frequency of scarcity. When you affirm love while harboring doubt, you transmit the energy of uncertainty. One evening, as Abigail sat in meditation, she ceased her usual recitations and simply allowed herself to feel. In that moment of surrender, she experienced a profound shift. The sensation of having what she desired filled her entire being. No words were needed. The feeling itself was the prayer. She had discovered what countless masters before her knew, that the language of the universe is not spoken through the tongue, but through the heart's silent knowing. In that sacred space of pure feeling, she touched the very essence of creation itself, and her desires began manifesting with an ease that had eluded her during all her years of rigid practice and forced affirmations. Energy embodiment practice. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Instead of thinking about what you want, imagine you already have it. Let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you completely. Notice how your body responds to this truth. Allow this sensation to expand until it fills every cell of your being. This is the language the universe understands. Pure, undiluted feeling. Remain in this state for as long as the feeling maintains its authenticity. This practice is complete when you can recall this feeling at will, making it as real as any physical experience. Chapter 7. Surrender versus Control. In the gleaming towers of Manhattan, Walter stood at his office window, his reflection a portrait of tension. Every morning, he arrived before sunrise, meticulously planning each hour, each meeting, each potential outcome. His calendar was a fortress of scheduled certainty, his strategies an armor against the unpredictable. Yet with each passing quarter, his grip on success seemed to weaken, like water slipping through clenched fingers. The universe operates through a profound paradox that few ever grasp. In your desperate attempt to control life's flow, you create the very resistance that blocks your desires. This truth lies at the heart of all manifestation. The more you try to force reality to bend to your will, the more it resists your touch. Think of the ocean. You cannot command its waves, yet by understanding its rhythms, you can navigate its vastness. The same principle governs the cosmic forces that shape your reality. When you release your iron grip on outcomes, you allow universal intelligence to orchestrate circumstances far beyond your limited perspective. One morning, seeking escape from his mounting frustrations, Walter found himself walking along a quiet pier. There, an old fisherman sat, his line cast into the gentle waters. "I've been watching you pace," the fisherman said, his eyes never leaving the water. "You remind me of a man trying to grab fish with his hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster they slip away." Walter stopped, struck by the simple wisdom in these words. The fisherman continued, "The river does not flow because you push it. It flows because you let it." In that moment, something shifted within Walter. He saw how his need for control had become a prison, keeping him bound to struggle while the natural flow of abundance passed him by. This wisdom echoes through the ages. True power lies not in forcing life to conform to your demands, but in aligning with its natural current. When you surrender with unwavering faith, you tap into a force far greater than your own limited efforts. The ritual of release. Take a piece of paper and write down what you are desperately trying to control. Feel the weight of this burden as you form each word. Now, in a safe place, burn this paper or tear it into tiny pieces. As you watch it dissolve, say these words: "I release my need to control this outcome. I trust in the perfect unfolding of my highest good." Let the physical act of destruction become a sacred symbol of your willingness to surrender. Chapter 8. Activating the Quantum Field of Possibilities. In the heart of an ancient city, Joseph walked the same streets he had walked 1,000 times before. Each day mirrored the last, the same coffee shop, the same conversations, the same unfulfilled dreams, until one morning when an enigmatic stranger sat beside him at his usual cafe table. "You exist in infinite versions," the stranger said, his eyes reflecting wisdom beyond time. "The Joseph who lives in lack and the Joseph who lives in abundance. They are both real. You simply choose which one you embody. You are not bound to a single timeline. The quantum field holds every possible version of your life, waiting to be activated through your state of being. When you understand this truth, you realize that manifestation is not about creating something new. It is about shifting into a reality where what you desire already exists. Most seek to change their circumstances while remaining the same person. This is why their efforts bear no fruit. The universe responds not to what you want, but to who you are. Every reality has a frequency, and you must match that frequency to experience it. In the quantum field, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The version of you who has already achieved your dreams is not a fantasy. It is a living reality, pulsing with its own energy. Your task is not to create this reality, but to step into alignment with it. Joseph found himself standing before a mirror in his apartment that evening. For the first time, he saw not just his reflection, but the infinite versions of himself stretching across parallel timelines. "I have been trying to change my life," he whispered, when I should have been changing myself. The mirror became a teacher, showing him that external reality is merely a reflection of internal state. The Joseph who lived in abundance carried himself differently, spoke differently, thought differently. He wasn't waiting for success, he was success embodied. When you truly grasp this teaching, you understand that your current reality is not a prison to escape, but simply one of infinite possibilities you can choose to experience. The shift occurs not through effort, but through embodiment. The timeline shift practice. Find a quiet space and stand before a doorway. Close your eyes and feel the energy of your highest timeline radiating before you. See yourself as you already exist in that reality, your posture, your energy, your certainty. Now step through the doorway physically while saying, I step into my highest timeline, where all I desire already exists. I am that version of myself now. Feel the shift in your energy as you cross this symbolic threshold. Chapter 9. Signs, Synchronicities, and the Language of the Universe. In the bustling heart of a modern city, Ruth hurried through her daily routine, brushing aside the peculiar occurrences that seemed to follow her. First, it was 11:11, appearing on every clock she glanced at. Then white feathers began appearing in her path. Mere coincidence, she would mutter, quickening her pace. You live in a universe that speaks in patterns, yet so often these divine messages go unheard. The language of synchronicity flows through every moment, weaving meaning through seemingly random events. This ancient wisdom has guided those who listen since time immemorial. The signs surround you constantly, in numbers that catch your eye, in songs that play at precise moments, in chance encounters that feel strangely meaningful. These are not random occurrences, but threads in the tapestry of universal communication. When you begin to recognize these patterns, you step into a flow of guidance that has always been present. The universe does not communicate through grand gestures, but through subtle whispers that require your attention and awareness. One morning, as Ruth sat in a cafe contemplating these recurring patterns, a woman at the next table turned to her unexpectedly. Signs are not rare. Awareness is. The word struck Ruth with unexpected force. In that moment she understood. She had been walking through a garden of messages with her eyes closed. That evening, she opened a blank journal and began noting every synchronicity, every repeated number, every meaningful coincidence. Within days, what once seemed like random events revealed themselves as an intricate language of guidance leading her precisely where she needed to go. This revelation mirrors your own journey. The signs you seek have always been present, waiting for you to notice them. They appear not to mystify, but to guide you toward alignment with your highest path. Sacred practice of signs. Take a blank journal and dedicate it to tracking synchronicities for the next 7 days. Each evening, record any recurring numbers, meaningful coincidences, or unusual encounters you experienced. Note the emotions and insights these signs triggered. Watch as patterns emerge, revealing the subtle language through which the universe guides you toward your destiny. Chapter 10. The Great Test. In the quiet hours before dawn, Edward stood at his window watching his carefully constructed dreams crumble. For months, everything had aligned perfectly. His business thrived, relationships flourished, and abundance flowed effortlessly. Then, without warning, it all began to unravel. You stand now at the threshold of understanding a truth that few discover. The moment when manifestation seems to fail is often the universe's most sacred test. It is in these darkest hours that your power truly emerges. The law of manifestation operates through certainty, not through circumstance. When reality appears to contradict your vision, it is not a sign of failure. It is an invitation to demonstrate unwavering faith. This principle has guided masters throughout the ages. The final barrier always appears most insurmountable. As Edward walked through the empty streets of his neighborhood, questioning everything he had learned, an old traveler sat on a bench beneath a streetlight. Their eyes met, and the traveler spoke words that would alter Edward's path forever. Most people give up seconds before the miracle. Will you? In that moment, Edward understood. This apparent failure was not an ending, but a threshold. His response to this challenge would determine everything that followed. Instead of retreating, he chose to stand firm in his knowing, even as the world suggested otherwise. Your journey mirrors this truth. When manifestation seems to falter at the final moment, you face the ultimate choice. Will you trust the deeper currents of universal law, or will you surrender to temporary appearances? This moment of choosing is your initiation. Sacred practice of certainty. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Bring to mind the manifestation that seems to be slipping away. Now, breathe deeply and allow all doubt to surface. Feel it fully. Then, with each breath, choose certainty instead. Not through force, but through quiet knowing. Hold this state for several minutes, practicing unshakable faith even as doubts arise. This is the practice of true manifestation, remaining steadfast when reality tests your resolve. Part 2 – The Shift. Unlocking the secret path to absolute alignment. Chapter 11. The Universal Command. In the depths of winter, William sat at his desk, surrounded by rejection letters. For years he had pleaded with the universe, reciting affirmations until his voice grew hoarse. Each morning he would wake up and whisper, "Please let my book succeed." Each night he would fall asleep begging for a sign. The universe remained silent. You too have experienced this silence. The mystery that has eluded you, as it once eluded William, lies not in finding the right words, but in understanding the true language of creation. The universe responds not to please but to resonance, and when you speak from lack, you create more lack. When you beg for abundance, you affirm its absence. This is why so many who practice manifestation find themselves trapped in an endless cycle of wanting. They do not realize that the universe understands only one language, the language of being. Consider how the sun does not ask permission to shine, the ocean does not plead to flow, they simply are. This is the forgotten truth of manifestation. The power lies not in asking, but in embodying. One evening, as William prepared to send another desperate prayer into the void, he met a mentor who transformed his understanding forever. The old man sat beside him and spoke words that would alter the course of his destiny. You don't ask the fire for warmth, you step closer and it gives it to you. In that moment, William understood his fundamental error. He had been speaking the language of separation, while the universe only understands the language of oneness. Success was not something to be begged for. It was a state to be embodied. The language of reality operates through vibration, not through words. When your thoughts, emotions, and energy align with what you desire, the universe has no choice but to reflect this alignment. This is not manifestation. This is natural law. Just as water must flow downhill and fire must rise upward, your inner state creates ripples in the fabric of existence that draw corresponding experiences toward you. The universe responds not to your pleading voice, but to the silent song of your being. In this profound truth lies the key to all creation, for you are not separate from the creative force itself, but an expression of it. Your role is not to beg, but to become. Sacred practice of embodiment. Stand before a mirror. Speak your desire not as a wish, but as a current reality. Focus not on the words themselves, but on the feeling of absolute certainty they carry. Let your entire being resonate with the truth of what you speak. The power lies not in what you say, but in the energy that flows through your words. Practice this until you feel the shift from asking to commanding, from hoping to knowing. Chapter 12. The Emotional Alchemy Method. In the heart of a bustling city, Florence walked through life carrying a heavy burden. Each morning, her chest tightened with anxiety about the future. Each night, her mind raced with doubts about her path. Like many, she saw these emotions as enemies to be conquered, obstacles blocking her from what she desired. Your emotions are not your adversaries, they are pure energy awaiting direction. Most seek to suppress their fears, to silence their doubts, never realizing that within these very feelings lies dormant power. The ancient masters understood what modern seekers have forgotten. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. When you resist an emotion, you only amplify its hold. When you fight against fear, you create more to fear. This is the hidden wisdom that few discover. Every emotion, even those you label as negative, carries within it the seed of manifestation power. Think of water. In its frozen state, it appears solid and unmovable, yet apply heat, and it transforms, flowing freely, rising as steam, nourishing life itself. Your emotions follow the same universal law of transformation. Fear and excitement share the same energetic signature in your body. Doubt and anticipation create the same physical sensations. The only difference lies in the label you assign. One day, Florence encountered a wise woman in a garden. Seeing the weight of worry in Florence's eyes, the woman shared a truth that would reshape Florence's understanding. Fear and excitement are the same energy, only labeled differently. Choose a new label. In that moment, Florence felt the first stirring of understanding. The butterflies in her stomach before a presentation, were they anxiety or anticipation? The racing heart before a new venture, was it fear or exhilaration? She realized she held the power to choose. Energy follows attention. When you learn to redirect rather than resist, to transmute rather than suppress, you unlock the ancient art of emotional alchemy. This is not about positive thinking, it is about energy mastery. Every doubt contains potential power. Every fear holds trapped creative force. Your role is not to eliminate these emotions, but to harness their raw energy and redirect it toward your desires. Sacred practice of emotional alchemy. Stand up and identify a current fear or doubt in your body. Where do you feel it? Notice the sensation without judgment. Now, keeping the same physical sensation, consciously relabel it as excitement or anticipation. Begin to move your body, walk, dance, or simply sway. Feel the energy transforming, not through force, but through conscious redirection. This is the ancient practice of emotional transmutation. Chapter 13. Becoming the frequency of your desires. In a small apartment overlooking the city, Harold sat surrounded by vision boards of luxury cars, mansions, and exotic destinations. Each morning, he visualized wealth with perfect clarity. Each night he repeated affirmations of abundance. Yet his bank account remained stubbornly empty, his dreams perpetually out of reach. You have been taught that visualization attracts your desires. This is only part of the truth. The universe responds not to what you imagine, but to what you embody. When you visualize wealth while vibrating at the frequency of lack, you send mixed signals into the quantum field. This is why so many remain trapped in cycles of wanting, despite their dedicated practice. The ancient law of frequency matching reveals a deeper truth. You cannot attract what contradicts your current state of being. A radio tuned to 98.7 FM cannot receive broadcasts from 104.5 FM. Similarly, you cannot receive wealth while broadcasting the frequency of scarcity. This is not about thinking rich thoughts. It is about becoming the embodiment of abundance. Harold's breakthrough came through an unexpected encounter. At a local temple, he met a monk who had taken a vow of silence. The monk owned nothing, yet radiated an inexplicable sense of abundance. Through gestures and written notes, the monk shared a wisdom that transformed Harold's understanding. True wealth was not something to chase, but a state to inhabit. The monk wrote, "The wealthy do not pursue money. They align with it, like attracts like. Be still and become what you seek." This truth shifts everything. Manifestation is not about attracting what you want. It is about matching its frequency. When you embody the energy of abundance, wealth naturally flows to you. When you vibrate at the frequency of love, relationships effortlessly appear. The universe simply mirrors what you are. Sacred practice of embodiment. Choose one desire you wish to manifest. For the next 7 days, move through your day as if you already have it. How would you walk? How would you speak? How would you treat others? This is not pretending, it is energetic alignment. With each action, you tune yourself to the frequency of your desire until the external world has no choice but to reflect your inner state. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. Time Distortion. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, Esther marked another day off her calendar, watching as weeks turned into months and months into years. Divine timing, she whispered to herself, a mantra that had become both comfort and curse. Each morning she dutifully practiced her manifestations, believing that someday, always someday, her dreams would materialize. Time is not what you think it is. The linear progression from past to future exists only in human perception. In the quantum field, all possibilities exist simultaneously. When you wait for something to manifest, you anchor yourself in linear time, creating the very delay you wish to overcome. The secret of instant manifestation lies in understanding that your desire already exists in the eternal now. Those who master this truth do not wait for their manifestations. They step into the reality where their desire has already manifested. This is not metaphor. It is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. Esther's understanding shifted during a chance encounter with a quantum physicist. Over coffee, he explained how observation collapses quantum possibilities into physical reality. Time doesn't create events, he said, drawing diagrams on a napkin. Focus does. The universe doesn't understand soon or later. It only knows now. That evening, Esther experimented with this principle. Instead of visualizing her desire as approaching, she experienced it as present. She stopped checking the calendar and lived as if her manifestation had already occurred. Within days, opportunities appeared that had been stuck for years. This shift in perception, from waiting to having, collapses the perceived gap between intention and manifestation. The universe responds not to patience, but to certainty. When you step fully into the reality where your desire exists now, time bends around your consciousness. Like a quantum particle that exists in multiple states until observed, your desired reality already exists in perfect form, waiting for your awareness to give it shape and substance. By choosing to experience your manifestation as present rather than future, you transcend the illusion of linear time and align with the eternal now, where all possibilities converge. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, recognizes only the vibration of your current state of being, not your hopes for tomorrow or regrets about yesterday. Sacred practice of time collapse. Sit in complete stillness. Close your eyes and feel your desire as already fulfilled in this exact moment. Not tomorrow, not soon, now. Let every cell of your body vibrate with the certainty of present possession. This is not visualization, it is quantum alignment with an existing reality. Hold this state until the future and past dissolve, leaving only the eternal now, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Chapter 15. Your Mirror Reality. In a small cafe on the edge of town, Robert sat alone, watching people pass by through the window. Each face seemed to wear the same expression of judgment he felt inside. His coffee had grown cold, much like the relationships that kept slipping through his fingers. Every job interview ended the same way, with polite rejection. The world, it seemed, had conspired against him. You have been taught that reality is fixed, that circumstances shape your experience. This ancient wisdom reveals a deeper truth. The world you see is but a reflection of your inner state. Like a vast mirror, reality shows you what you believe about yourself, about life, about what is possible. The universe operates through resonance. Every circumstance, every encounter, every random event aligns precisely with your deepest beliefs. When you understand this principle, you hold the key to transforming your entire existence. Those who master this truth no longer blame external conditions. They recognize that changing their inner world automatically shifts their outer reality. Most seek to change their circumstances while maintaining the same internal state. This is why lasting change eludes them. The secret lies not in manipulating external conditions, but in shifting your inner vibration. When you transform within, the universe has no choice but to reflect this transformation without. As Robert left the cafe, a woman stopped him. Her eyes held a knowing gleam. "Life is a mirror," she said simply. "What are you seeing?" The words struck him with unexpected force. That evening he examined his relationships, his career struggles, his daily encounters. Each reflected back the same core belief: I'm not enough. He decided to test this theory. Instead of trying to prove his worth, he began to embody it. Rather than seeking approval, he approved of himself. The shift was subtle yet profound. Within days, people responded to him differently. Opportunities appeared as if by magic. The world, he realized, had not changed. His reflection of it had. This truth holds the power to liberate you from victimhood. Every circumstance you face is showing you your own consciousness. The universe operates with perfect precision, reflecting back exactly what you hold within. Sacred mirror practice. Take your journal and write down 3 recurring patterns in your external world. For each pattern, ask yourself, what belief within me is creating this reflection? Write without censoring. Let truth flow onto the page. As you identify these internal beliefs, you begin to understand your power to change them. Remember, the mirror cannot show what you do not hold within. Chapter 16. The Secret of Non-Attachment. Dorothy stood before her mirror, carefully applying makeup for what would be her third date that week with Thomas. Her hands trembled slightly as she traced her lipstick, wanting everything to be perfect. Each message she sent him was crafted with precision, each moment together planned to ensure his happiness. Yet with every careful step, she felt him slipping further away. Within a month, her fears materialized. Thomas ended their relationship, citing that he felt suffocated. You have been taught that holding tight to what you desire ensures its permanence in your life. This teaching reveals a deeper truth. Attachment creates resistance, and resistance repels what you seek to keep. The universe operates through a delicate balance of attraction and release. When you grasp at anything, be it love, wealth, or success, you create an energetic blockage that prevents its natural flow toward you. The art of having without needing transforms your relationship with desire itself. Most believe they must chase what they want, yet chasing implies absence. When you pursue from a place of lack, you broadcast that lack into the universe, multiplying it. True manifestation occurs when you release the energetic grip of need while maintaining clear intention. Consider water. Try to grasp it, and it slips through your fingers. Open your palm, and it pools naturally in your hand. This is the way of the universe. Those who master this principle understand that detachment is not about abandoning desires, but about trusting in the perfect timing and manner of their fulfillment. Dorothy, heartbroken and confused, sought wisdom from an elderly woman in her neighborhood. The woman smiled knowingly and said, "The moment you need nothing, everything comes." Dorothy realized she had been trying to control love rather than allowing it to flow naturally. As she learned to release her grip on outcomes, she found an inner peace that paradoxically drew others toward her. This wisdom reveals the great paradox of manifestation. You must desire without needing, pursue without chasing, and expect without attachment. When you release the desperate energy of need, you open yourself to receive abundantly. Like water flowing downstream, abundance naturally seeks its own level when unimpeded by the rocks and debris of doubt and desperation. The ancient masters understood this delicate balance. They knew that true power lies not in forcing outcomes, but in aligning yourself with the natural flow of universal energy. When you stand in this place of peaceful certainty, knowing that all you seek is already moving toward you, you become a magnet for miracles. Release ritual. Sit in stillness with your eyes closed. Visualize your deepest desire before you. Now imagine gentle hands releasing their grip on this desire, letting it float freely in the universe. Feel the lightness that comes with this release. Speak these words. I release my attachment while maintaining my intention. What is meant for me will flow to me naturally. Allow yourself to experience the peace of true detachment. Chapter 17. The Silent Force That Shapes Everything. Franklin stood at the edge of a cliff, watching as his friend Thomas effortlessly manifested one success after another. No matter what Thomas desired, be it business opportunities, relationships, or material abundance, it seemed to flow to him naturally. Franklin, despite his relentless practice of visualization and affirmations, struggled to create even minor changes in his reality. You now approach one of the most vital truths of manifestation, a principle so fundamental that most overlook it entirely. Beneath your conscious desires lies a deeper current, your unconscious expectations. These silent assumptions shape your reality more powerfully than any amount of conscious effort. Think of reality as an ocean responding not to the waves on its surface, your conscious thoughts and efforts, but to the deep currents below. These currents are your true expectations, the quiet certainties that whisper, "This is how life works for me." When you understand this principle, you begin to see why some manifest with ease while others struggle endlessly. It is not about who works harder or who knows more techniques. It is about the silent story playing beneath your awareness. One evening, Franklin met an elderly mentor who watched him struggling with his manifestation practice. The mentor simply said, "It's not what you hope for, it's what you quietly expect." In that moment, Franklin realized he had been focusing on the wrong level of consciousness entirely. While he consciously visualized success, deep down he expected things to be difficult. His unconscious certainty of struggle was creating his reality more powerfully than his conscious desires. This revelation illuminates why your reality often contradicts your conscious intentions. If you secretly expect rejection while affirming love, rejection will manifest. If you unconsciously believe wealth is dangerous while visualizing abundance, poverty will persist. Your deepest expectations always override your surface desires. Like water seeking its own level, your life experiences will inevitably align with your truest beliefs, those quiet certainties that whisper in the depths of your being. You may spend hours reciting affirmations of prosperity, but if scarcity feels more familiar and real to your inner mind, that is the reality you will continue to create. This is why the masters of manifestation focus not on forcing change through willpower, but on gently transforming their deepest levels of expectation. Self-inquiry, exercise. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what do I truly expect to happen in my life? Notice the immediate answer that arises, not what you wish for, but what feels most certain. Write down these expectations without judgment. For each area of life, wealth, love, success, record your honest, instinctive response to the question, what feels most likely to happen? These answers reveal your true manifesting blueprint. Chapter 18. Invisible Influence. Virginia stood in her garden, exhausted from years of pushing, striving, and forcing her way through life. Each morning brought new tasks, new strategies, new methods to manifest her desires. Yet the more she did, the less seemed to happen. Until one morning she witnessed something that changed everything. A butterfly landed on her flower bed, and she noticed how effortlessly it drew nectar from the blooms. It didn't struggle or force, it simply was, and nature responded to its presence. The universe operates through subtle energies, not brute force. This truth has been known by the great masters throughout time, yet it remains hidden from those who seek power through action alone. Your presence, your energetic signature, shapes reality more profoundly than any physical effort. Think of the most influential people you've encountered. Their power didn't come from what they did. It emanated from who they were. They didn't chase influence. They embodied it. This is the forgotten art of manifestation through presence. When you align your internal state with what you desire, reality bends naturally in your direction. No pushing, no forcing, no desperate action. Like a magnet affecting iron filings without touch, your energetic presence reorganizes the world around you. Virginia discovered this truth when she stopped trying to win people's approval. For years, she had carefully crafted her words and actions, attempting to make others like her. Then one day, she simply dropped all effort. She focused instead on cultivating her inner presence, and something remarkable happened. People began gravitating toward her naturally. Opportunities appeared without struggle. The very things she had chased now chased her. She realized that her previous efforts had actually created resistance, while her authentic presence created natural attraction. This mirrors an ancient truth. The universe responds not to what you do, but to what you are. When you shift from doing to being, you tap into the natural order of manifestation. Like water finding its own level or a flower turning toward the sun, your state of being creates ripples throughout the cosmic fabric. The sages of old understood this profound wisdom. That transformation occurs not through endless action, but through the quiet power of presence. When you align your inner state with your deepest desires, the universe conspires to bring forth that which already exists within you. Stillness practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Instead of trying to manifest anything, simply be present. Feel the power of your own existence. Notice how your mere presence affects the space around you. Stay in this state of pure being for several minutes, allowing your energy to naturally expand. This is the state from which true manifestation flows. Chapter 19. The Energy Loop. In the heart of a bustling city lived Albert, a man who seemed to have everything working against him. Each time success approached, it slipped through his fingers like water. Jobs fell through at the last moment. Relationships ended before they began. Even small victories turned to dust. Yet the true cause remained invisible to him until the day he witnessed something that unveiled the hidden pattern. You see, Albert watched as a river flowed around a fallen tree. The water didn't fight or struggle. It simply found a new path. But when he threw a stone into the stream, the ripples bounced back, creating interference patterns that disrupted the flow. In that moment, he saw himself in those ripples, his own energy creating waves that canceled out his desires. The universe operates through perfect flow, but most remain blind to how they interrupt this natural current. Your energy creates patterns, fields of influence that either allow or repel what you seek. When manifestation seems blocked, it is never the universe withholding. It is your own energy creating resistance. Think of your desires as water flowing toward you. Every doubt, every fear, every belief of unworthiness acts as a stone thrown into that stream. The ripples of these thoughts create interference patterns, canceling out the very things you wish to attract. This is not punishment, it is physics on an energetic level. Albert met an old mystic in a quiet temple who observed him silently before speaking. "You pray for rain while holding an umbrella," the mystic said. "Your words ask for abundance, but your energy pushes it away." The truth struck Albert like lightning. He had been his own obstacle all along. The mystic's words revealed an ageless truth. You cannot receive what you energetically reject. When your conscious desires conflict with your unconscious beliefs, the unconscious always wins. This is why affirmations often fail while your limiting patterns persist. You are sending mixed signals to the universe. You are not blocked by external forces. The only true blocks exist within. Beliefs of unworthiness, fear of success, doubt in the universe's abundance. These create energetic patterns that repel the very things you seek to attract. Yet this recognition holds immense power, for what you can see, you can change. Clearing ritual. Sit in silence and place your hands over your heart. Breathe deeply and visualize a golden light dissolving all resistance within you. Speak these words with feeling. I release all patterns that block my good. I am open to receiving. Feel the energy shift as old blocks dissolve. Let this new state of receptivity become your natural way of being. Chapter 20. Mastering the Unshakable State of Knowing. In a small cafe between ancient buildings, Beatrice sat with her journal filled with manifestation techniques, vision boards, and endless lists of desires. Each page documented moments when success seemed within reach, only to dissolve like morning mist. Her faith wavered between certainty and doubt, creating a pattern that kept her dreams perpetually out of reach. As she closed her journal with a familiar sense of frustration, an elderly woman at the next table spoke without looking up from her tea. You write as though you're trying to convince yourself of something you already know. The words struck Beatrice with unexpected force. The woman continued, When I was young, I too collected evidence of possibility. But gathering proof is itself proof of doubt. Beatrice had never considered this perspective. She had spent years accumulating techniques, affirmations, and methods, yet each new practice merely reinforced her underlying uncertainty. The woman's presence carried an unmistakable power, the kind that comes not from effort but from knowing. Your journey through manifestation has likely followed a similar path. You've gathered knowledge, practiced techniques, and experienced moments of alignment. Yet something has held you back from complete mastery. That something is the gap between believing and knowing. When you truly know something, you don't need proof, you don't look for signs, you don't require validation. Think of your certainty that the sun will rise tomorrow. Do you need affirmations for that? Do you collect evidence? Do you worry about whether it will happen? This level of certainty, this unshakable knowing, is the final key to manifestation mastery. It is not a technique to be learned, but a state to be embodied. Those who have reached this level understand that doubt is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a signal that you're still operating from the old paradigm of separation. The stranger looked directly at Beatrice and spoke words that would transform her understanding forever. You are either the creator of your life or you are not. The moment you truly decide, reality follows. She didn't elaborate or explain. She didn't need to. The truth of those words resonated at a level beyond intellect. Beatrice walked away from that cafe understanding that her years of oscillating between faith and doubt had been her greatest obstacle. She had been treating manifestation as something to achieve rather than a truth to embody. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel yourself stepping into a version of you that has moved beyond the need for proof. This self exists in absolute knowing. Don't imagine this state. Become it. Let every cell of your body vibrate with unshakable certainty. This is not a visualization. It is a transformation of your very being. Part 3. The Mastery, the Point of No Return. Chapter 21. The Door That Only Opens Once You Stop Knocking. Raymond stood before the massive oak door every morning, his knuckles raw from knocking. For years he had pleaded with the universe, performed endless rituals, and waited for permission to enter the life he dreamed of. His determination never wavered, yet neither did the door's apparent resistance. One particularly exhausting morning, as he prepared for his daily ritual of seeking entry, an old man appeared beside him. Without introduction or ceremony, he spoke. "Why do you knock on a door that has no lock?" Raymond paused, his fist suspended mid-air. "But I've tried everything to open it." "That is precisely why it appears closed," the old man said, his eyes reflecting ancient wisdom. "The door only exists because you believe you need permission to enter." This truth struck Raymond with the force of lightning. All these years he had been creating the very barrier he sought to overcome. His endless knocking had only reinforced the illusion of separation between himself and his desires. You too have been knocking on doors that were never locked. Your persistent asking has created the very distance you wish to eliminate. The universe does not withhold, it reflects. When you operate from a place of seeking, you perpetuate the experience of not having. The deepest truth of manifestation is this: what you seek is already yours, but your seeking creates the illusion of separation. The universe does not respond to effort or deserve, it responds to embodiment. When you live as though your desires are already manifest, reality has no choice but to align with your knowing. The old man gestured to the space where the door had been moments before. The door only vanishes when you realize you were never outside. Raymond stood in stunned silence as understanding dawned. The barrier between himself and his desires had been created by his own belief in separation. In that moment, he stopped being a seeker and became a knower. Sacred practice. Sit in stillness and identify something you have been desperately seeking. Notice how your seeking has created the illusion of distance. Now, shift your energy from asking to embodying. Move through your day as though what you desire is already yours. Let your actions, thoughts, and energy align with this truth. The door disappears when you stop acknowledging its existence. Chapter 22. The Power of the Invisible. Abigail watched her friend Sarah with a mixture of fascination and disbelief. While others scrambled with vision boards and endless affirmations, Sarah moved through life with an effortless grace, manifesting her desires as naturally as breathing. No rituals, no struggle, just pure, unwavering certainty. One evening, as they sat in Sarah's garden, Abigail could no longer contain her curiosity. "How do you do it?" she asked. "You never seem to try, yet everything flows to you." Sarah simply smiled and placed a seed in the earth. Does the seed announce its intention to become a flower? Does it strain and struggle? Number, it simply knows what it is, and that knowing is enough. You have been taught that manifestation requires endless action, constant affirmation, and ceaseless effort. Yet the most powerful force in the universe operates in complete silence. When you truly understand this, you will cease the exhausting dance of external validation and enter the realm of pure intention. Intention is not thought. It is not words. It is not even desire. Intention is a state of being so complete that it requires no outward expression. Like gravity, it moves reality without sound or struggle. The universe responds not to what you say or do, but to what you are. Most people weaken their manifestations by explaining them, defending them, or seeking approval for them. They dilute their power through endless discussion and external validation. The greatest manifestations occur in silence, powered by an internal certainty so complete that it needs no voice. One day, while Abigail sat beneath an ancient tree contemplating this truth, an elder appeared beside her. His eyes held the wisdom of ages as he spoke. Words are weak. True power is silent. In that moment, Abigail understood. She had been dispersing her power through endless explanation and external seeking. She stopped telling people about her dreams. She ceased seeking validation. Instead, she held her intentions in sacred silence, letting them grow strong in the soil of certainty. To her amazement, things began shifting without effort. Reality began bending to her silent knowing, as naturally as shadows follow light. Sacred practice. Choose one desire and make it sacred through silence. Do not speak of it. Do not write it down. Simply hold it in your being with complete certainty. Let it exist as pure intention, untouched by words or action. Feel its completion in the depth of your soul. Then watch as reality aligns without force. Chapter 23. The Quantum Jump. Victor stood before his mirror each morning, adjusting a tie he could barely afford, straightening his posture to match the CEO he knew he would become. Many called his practice delusional, living as if his million-dollar company already existed, speaking with the quiet confidence of someone who had already achieved massive success. You see, transformation begins not with action, but with identity. The universe responds not to what you do, but to who you are. When you truly understand this principle, you will cease the endless chase and instead embody the version of yourself who has already arrived. Most believe that identity follows achievement, that you must first have the success to become the person worthy of it. This is the great illusion that keeps most trapped in waiting. The truth lies in reverse. You must first become, then reality reshapes itself to match your new vibration. Each morning, as Victor moved through his day as his future self, subtle shifts began occurring. His voice carried new authority. Opportunities appeared as if summoned. People began treating him differently, responding to an energy they could not name but instantly recognized. Within weeks, investors who had ignored his calls began reaching out. Partnerships materialized from unexpected places. The universe itself seemed to conspire to match his inner certainty. You are not waiting for your dream life. Your dream life is waiting for you, his mentor shared one evening, watching Victor's transformation unfold. The future version of yourself exists now, in this moment. Step into it. This truth reveals the hidden mechanism behind instant manifestation. Time is not linear. It is a field of infinite possibilities. The version of you who has already achieved everything you desire exists right now, waiting for you to align with that reality. When you shift your identity, you collapse time itself. You no longer need to wait for gradual change because you have already become the end result. This is the quantum jump, the instant realignment of reality to match your new state of being. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and step into the energy of your future self. Feel their posture, their breath, their quiet confidence flowing through every cell of your being. How do they move through the world? With grace, with purpose, with unwavering certainty. How do they speak? With wisdom, with clarity, with the power of one who knows their truth. How do they carry themselves in each moment, radiating the divine light of manifestation? Choose one action this version of you would take, something small but significant that marks the shift in your identity. Perhaps it is the way they begin their morning, or how they interact with others, or a ritual that affirms their highest path. Then, from this deeply embodied state of alignment, take that action now. Do not simply think about it or plan it. Act from this elevated consciousness in this very moment. You have not simply imagined your future self, you have become them in mind, body, and spirit. The transformation is complete the instant you choose it to be. Chapter 24. Absolute Certainty. Evelyn sat in her garden each evening reciting affirmations and visualizing her dreams with passionate intensity. Yet something was missing, a subtle but crucial element that separated those who manifest quickly from those who wait endlessly. You see, belief alone is not enough. The universe responds not to what you believe possible, but to what you know is inevitable. One day, watching a child reach for a toy, Evelyn noticed something profound. The child never questioned whether they would receive it. They simply extended their hand with pure, unwavering certainty. In that moment, she understood the missing piece. The secret lies not in convincing yourself that something might happen, but in knowing, with every fiber of your being, that it already has. This knowing transcends hope, surpasses belief, and enters the realm of absolute certainty where doubt cannot exist. When you plant a seed, you do not stand over it questioning whether it will grow. You know it will, because this is the natural law. Similarly, the universe operates on laws just as precise. When you align with pure certainty, manifestation becomes as natural as a flower turning toward the sun. Evelyn met an old sage who shared a truth that changed everything. Those who receive their desires never wonder if they will manifest. They have moved beyond the realm of hoping and entered the dimension of knowing. In this state, doubt becomes as impossible as questioning whether the sun will rise. This is why some manifest instantly, while others wait years for the same desire. The universe mirrors your level of certainty. When you eliminate all traces of doubt, reality has no choice but to conform to your knowing. Sacred practice. Take 3 statements of doubt that linger in your mind. Now transform each into a declaration of absolute certainty. But do not merely change the words. Feel the shift in your solar plexus as you speak them. For example, I hope this will work becomes, this is already done. I wish I could becomes I am. Maybe someday becomes it is happening now. Speak these declarations not as affirmations but as statements of natural law, as immutable as gravity itself. Feel the profound difference between hoping and knowing, between wishing and commanding. Let every cell of your body align with this new frequency of certainty, this vibration of absolute knowing. When your entire being resonates with unshakable conviction, the universe cannot help but respond, for it is merely reflecting back the truth you hold within. This is not about convincing yourself of something, but rather recognizing what already is. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the unwavering knowing behind them. Chapter 25. How to live in the end result before it happens. In the heart of a bustling city lived Thomas, a man who spent his days crafting elaborate contingency plans. When my business succeeds, then he would say, always placing his desired reality in some distant future. Each morning he meticulously prepared for what might happen, never realizing this very habit kept his dreams at arm's length. You see, the universe does not respond to preparation. It responds to presence. Living in the end state of your desire is not about planning for success. It is about embodying it now. This truth lies at the core of reality creation. Most approach manifestation as though standing outside a mansion, planning how they'll arrange the furniture once they get in. But those who manifest with power live as though they already dwell within those walls. They feel the textures, breathe the air, and move through those rooms in their mind with such clarity that the physical world has no choice but to catch up. Living in the end means occupying the energy, the feeling state, and the natural behaviors of someone who already has what you desire. It is not about pretending or hoping. It is about shifting your entire field of awareness into the reality where your desire already exists. Thomas encountered an aged sage in a quiet garden who shared a truth that altered everything. Your reality lags behind your assumption. Change the assumption. In that moment, Thomas understood. He had been living in preparation for his desires rather than in the completion of them. This revelation transformed his approach. Instead of planning for success, he began living from it. His words, choices, and actions naturally aligned with someone who had already achieved his dreams. The world, as though awakening to this new frequency, began reshaping itself to match his assumption. The universe does not differentiate between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. When you fully occupy the state of your desire's fulfillment, you create a resonance that reality must match. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Now step into a day in your ideal life, not as a visitor, but as someone who lives there. Feel the textures of your environment. Hear the sounds. Notice the quality of light. How do you move through your space? What conversations do you have? How does your body feel? Don't rush. Inhabit each moment fully. Feel the natural confidence in your movements, the ease in your decisions, the certainty in your interactions. This is not imagination. It is reality attunement. You are aligning with what already exists in the quantum field. Let this state become your new normal. Return to it throughout your day, not as an exercise, but as a remembrance of who you truly are. Chapter 26. The Final Test. In a small coastal town, Leonard stood at the helm of his fledgling business, watching as years of dedication finally began bearing fruit. Investors were lined up, contracts were ready to sign, and success seemed inevitable. Then, like a storm appearing from clear skies, everything began unraveling. Key partners withdrew, funding disappeared, and opportunities vanished overnight. You see, the universe operates through a profound mechanism that few understand. Just before a manifestation solidifies in physical reality, there often comes a moment when everything appears to fall apart. This is not a sign of failure, it is the final examination of your certainty. Most seekers of truth mistake these moments of apparent destruction for genuine obstacles. They believe their manifestation has failed, their path was wrong, or the universe has denied their desire. But these challenges are not what they seem. They are sacred trials designed to test your alignment with the reality you have chosen. Think of it as the universe asking, how certain are you? Will you abandon your vision at the first sign of opposition, or will you hold steady, knowing that what you desire is already yours? The true masters of manifestation understand that these moments of chaos are not random. They are orchestrated opportunities to demonstrate unwavering faith. When everything appears to be falling apart, your response determines whether you graduate to the next level of manifestation mastery or begin the cycle again. Leonard found himself sitting in a quiet cafe when an elderly man at the next table turned to him and said, "Most people fail the test. Will you?" Those words struck him with the force of revelation. He realized that his current challenges were not obstacles but opportunities, chances to prove his alignment with his chosen reality. This truth carries profound implications for your own journey. When circumstances seem to oppose your vision, remember, the universe is not denying you, it is initiating you. These moments of apparent failure are actually doorways to your next level of power. Sacred practice. Sit in complete stillness. Bring to mind your current challenge or setback. Now, instead of seeing it as an obstacle, recognize it as an initiation. Feel the unwavering certainty in your core that this is merely the universe's way of testing your alignment. Breathe deeply and declare, "I hold my vision regardless of appearances." What I desire is already mine. These circumstances are temporary illusions testing my certainty. Maintain this state of unshakable knowing for several minutes. Practice this whenever external reality seems to oppose your manifestation. Remember, your response to the storm determines whether you transcend it. Chapter 27. The New You. Dorothy stood before her mirror one morning, startled by what she saw. The reflection showed her familiar features, yet something profound had shifted. The woman who had spent years chasing dreams, desperately trying to manifest a different life, was gone. In her place stood someone who emanated quiet power, someone who no longer needed to become anything. You see, the greatest secret of manifestation lies not in the doing, but in the being. Most spend their lives trying to attract what they desire, not realizing that true power comes from becoming the version of themselves who naturally commands it. This transformation transcends mere manifestation. It is an alchemical shift in identity. When you fully step into the energy of your highest self, you no longer need to chase anything. The universe naturally aligns with who you have become. Think of a master pianist. They do not sit at the piano, wondering if they can play. They simply play. Their mastery is not something they do. It is who they are. This same principle applies to manifestation. When you truly become the version of yourself who has it all, you no longer question whether your desires will manifest. You simply live from that state of being. Dorothy encountered an old friend who hardly recognized her. "You've changed," the friend said. "What's your secret?" Dorothy smiled and replied, "I no longer chase. I simply am." In that moment, she understood that all her previous efforts to manifest had actually kept her stuck in the energy of seeking. The moment she became the person who already had everything she desired, the seeking naturally fell away. This truth holds profound implications for your own journey. The ultimate goal is not to acquire things or experiences. It is to undergo such a complete transformation that you naturally attract everything you once sought. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel yourself stepping out of your current identity and into the version of you who has already achieved everything you desire. Notice how this version of you moves, thinks, and feels. Let yourself fully merge with this energy. Now open your eyes and move through your day from this new state of being. You are no longer trying to become something. You simply are. Let this new identity inform every action, every decision, every moment. Remember, the highest form of manifestation requires no effort because you have become the very essence of what you once sought. In this elevated state of consciousness, you no longer chase after desires like a shadow pursuing light. You have merged completely with the energy of your aspirations. When you embody the truth of what you wish to attract, the universe naturally aligns to mirror your inner reality. This is the sacred art of becoming, where manifestation flows as naturally as breath itself. Chapter 28. Mastering the Law of Reverse Effort. Francis had always believed in the power of hard work. Each morning he would rise before dawn, meticulously writing his affirmations, visualizing his goals, and pushing himself through elaborate manifestation rituals. For years he maintained this rigorous spiritual discipline, yet his desires remained stubbornly out of reach. You too may recognize this pattern in your own life. The harder you try, the more distant your dreams appear. This is no accident, for you have stumbled upon one of the most mysterious laws of the universe, the law of reverse effort. When you strain to manifest, you create resistance. Think of trying to grasp water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Yet when you open your palm, the water rests there effortlessly. This same principle governs all manifestation. One day, Frances encountered an elderly woman sitting peacefully in a garden. Despite her simple appearance, she radiated an unmistakable abundance. "I've been watching you," she said, "running yourself ragged, chasing what's already yours." She smiled gently and added, "Ease creates speed." Those 3 words shattered Frances's entire paradigm. He realized that all his striving had actually been pushing his desires away. The moment he relaxed his grip, everything began flowing naturally. This truth illuminates the path before you now. The universe responds not to effort, but to alignment. When you struggle, you broadcast the energy of lack. When you flow, you emanate the frequency of abundance. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Begin to notice any tension in your body, any place where you are gripping or striving. With each breath, release this tension. Feel yourself melting into a state of pure receptivity. Now bring to mind something you desire. Instead of reaching for it, imagine it floating toward you effortlessly, like a feather carried on a gentle breeze. You don't need to grasp or chase. Simply remain open to receiving. Stay in this state of effortlessness for several minutes, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath and the spaciousness within. Notice how different this feels from your usual state of seeking and striving, the constant reaching and grasping that has become so familiar. This is the art of surrender, the practice of receiving without strain, of trusting in the universe's perfect timing and infinite abundance. Let your entire being soften into this receptive state, knowing that what is meant for you will flow to you naturally, just as water flows downhill. Chapter 29. Living as the Universe in Human Form. In the heart of a bustling city, Henry walked among the crowds, feeling strangely disconnected from his usual sense of self. For years, he had viewed himself as a separate entity, constantly trying to negotiate with an external universe, but on this particular morning, something shifted. You may recognize this moment when the illusion of separation begins to dissolve. The truth that has always existed beneath your searching now rises to the surface. You are not apart from the universe. You are the universe expressing itself in human form. This revelation transforms everything. The power you have sought has always resided within you, for you are the very force of creation itself. When you breathe, the universe breathes. When you move, the universe moves. There is no division between you and the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of existence. Henry stood before a mirror one evening, gazing at his reflection, when understanding dawned. He saw beyond the physical form to the vast consciousness that animated it. In that moment, he realized he had never been separate from what he sought. He was the seeking itself, the seeker, and that which was sought. This truth changes the entire nature of manifestation. You no longer petition an external force for your desires, for you recognize yourself as the force through which all things emerge. Your thoughts, your feelings, your very presence shapes reality because you are reality shaping itself. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Feel the rhythm of your breath, not as something you do, but as the universe breathing through you. Let your awareness expand beyond the boundaries of your physical form. Feel the space around you not as separate, but as an extension of your own being. Notice how the air touches your skin. There is no real boundary between where you end and it begins. Feel the ground beneath you, recognizing that your body is made of the same elements as the earth itself. Allow your consciousness to expand further, encompassing the room, the building, the city, the planet. You are not a small being looking out at a vast universe. You are the vastness itself, experiencing itself through this particular form. Rest in this truth, feeling the infinite power that you have always been. From this space, creation requires no effort. It flows naturally from your state of being. In this moment of pure awareness, you recognize that all limitations were merely illusions, thoughts that clouded the eternal truth of your nature. The universe does not exist separate from you. You are its living expression, its consciousness made manifest in flesh and bone. As you embrace this understanding, feel how the ancient power of creation stirs within you, waiting to express itself through your desires and intentions. Chapter 30. You'll never be the same again. Eleanor stood at the edge of her garden, watching the sunrise with new eyes. For years, she had visited the same spot, seeking answers in the morning light. But this dawn was different. She no longer searched for anything. The seeking had ended not because she had found what she wanted, but because she had become what she sought. You have walked a sacred path, unveiling truths that have transformed you at the deepest level. Like Eleanor, you stand at a threshold. The old self, the one who doubted, who feared, who searched endlessly, has dissolved into something greater. This transformation cannot be undone, for you have touched the eternal truth of your being. When you truly understand the nature of reality, it is like seeing color for the first time after living in black and white. The mind cannot return to its former limitations. The beliefs that once confined you have crumbled, revealing the vast expanse of your true nature. Eleanor met an old friend who asked, "What changed?" She smiled, knowing no words could capture the depth of her transformation. She simply said, "I remembered who I am." In that moment, she realized she could never forget again. The veil had lifted permanently. The universe reveals itself to those ready to see, like a flower slowly opening its petals to the morning sun. Once you recognize your true nature as the creative force itself, doubt becomes as impossible as darkness claiming it is separate from light. The eternal truth flows through you as naturally as breath, as steadily as the rhythm of your own heart. You have crossed a bridge that dissolves behind you. There is only forward now. The old illusions of limitation fall away like autumn leaves, revealing the boundless expanse of possibility that was always there, waiting for you to claim it. Sacred practice. Sit in silence and reflect on who you were when you began this journey. Notice how that version of yourself feels distant now, like a character in a story you once read. Feel the certainty that has replaced doubt, the knowing that has replaced seeking. Acknowledge the transformation that has occurred within you, not as something you achieved, but as an awakening to what was always true. Place your hand on your heart and speak these words silently. I acknowledge the transformation within me. I release who I once was and embrace who I have become. I stand in the truth of my being, knowing there is no return to limitation. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. This book is not the end, it is the beginning. Like a master craftsman who has finally received their tools, you now possess the knowledge to shape reality itself. But true mastery unfolds gradually, like a flower opening to the morning sun. Each day brings new revelations, deeper understanding, and greater command over the universal forces that govern all creation. The wisdom you have uncovered is ancient and eternal. It has existed since the dawn of consciousness, waiting for those ready to embrace its power. Now that you have glimpsed these truths, your perception has shifted irreversibly. You see through different eyes that recognize the malleable nature of reality, that understand the profound connection between consciousness and creation. As you step forward into this new understanding, remember that the universe never stops teaching. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to apply these principles at deeper levels. Each success reveals new horizons of possibility. The laws you have learned are like keys that open endless doors, each leading to greater mysteries and more profound revelations. You have moved beyond the realm of hoping and wishing into the domain of knowing and being. This shift in consciousness is permanent, like awakening from a dream. You cannot return to sleep once your eyes have opened to truth. The old patterns of doubt and limitation have dissolved, replaced by an unwavering certainty in your creative power. The path ahead is uniquely yours. Some will manifest grand visions that transform the world. Others will create quiet miracles that touch individual lives. Both are equally powerful, equally sacred. The universe does not measure success by size, but by alignment with truth. Walk forward with the confidence of one who knows their own nature. You are not separate from the creative force that shapes reality. You are that force expressing itself through human form. This understanding will continue deepening, revealing new layers of truth as you evolve. Let your transformation inspire others, but remember that each person must discover these truths in their own time. You cannot give someone else your knowing, but you can demonstrate what is possible when one aligns with universal law. The journey of mastery has no end point. Each plateau reached reveals new heights to climb. Each truth understood opens the door to deeper mysteries. This is the nature of infinite creation. There is always more to discover, always another level of mastery to attain. You have crossed a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. The old limitations have fallen away, revealing the boundless nature of your true being. Step forward boldly into this new reality, knowing that you will never be the same again. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.